Yes, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. Mikel Arteta has been speaking to media ahead of our clash against Luton tomorrow, and he says Bukayo Saka should be alright to play in that game as he has been in training fully today. And of course, he spoke about Jalen Timber as well, and he said he is not far away. He's looking to get some minutes before the end of the campaign, and probably that is some good news as well. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as well. This is a must-win game, and Mikel Arteta agrees. So let's dive into the comments of the manager on this one. First and foremost, Mikel was asked about on how Bukayo Saka is fitness-wise. Yeah, and he said he is fine. Obviously, we haven't trained. We've recovered and have a short live session today to prepare for the game, and we'll see whether he's in the best condition to start or not. On whether there is an opportunity to give him a time to recover in that game, he says we are just thinking about Luton and preparing for the game in the best way possible, and we want to earn the right to beat them as well. So today in the morning, Sky Sports were reporting live from the Arsenal training center. I think it's called the Sobha now Realty Training Center, and Saka was one of the players that actually arrived for training as well, and is expected to have taken part of the training that happened today. And I think with Saka, for me, this is a game that he can actually sit out. I know it is nervy. I know it is scary for Arsenal to go into a game this important without our best player, without our best attacker, but I don't think we are that bad. I don't think Trossard, Jesus, and possibly Martinelli or possibly Edin Ketia will fail to beat Luton at the Emirates Stadium. Now, it might not be 4-0, it might not be 5-0 like what we are used to, and I think we need to get used to the fact that those results were really nice, but they might not come again very, very soon, because games are going to be coming in quick and quick and fast. And then we also have the fact that the teams we are playing are quality sides. Apart from Luton, Arsenal will not play another, side that you think is that easy to beat for a very, very long time. So I'm going to say this. Let Saka sit out this game against Luton, and let's see what happens after that. But anyway, Mikel says that we focus on Luton and we see whether he will be okay to play, and of course if he will be okay to play, then we will get to see him. Okay, Mikel Arteta on whether Gabriel Martinelli is fit enough to play 90 minutes. He says he is, because he was available to play against a really, really tough opponent 3 days ago. Again, we'll train today and see the state of every player and make the right decision tomorrow. So Mikel says there that Gabriel Martinelli is okay to play against Luton 90 minutes because he was available to play 3 days ago against a very, very different and difficult opponent. And I will agree with Mikel there. City are not an easy opponent. So if Gabi Martinelli was available for selection in that game, I think his fitness is just going to get better and better and better. Now, I don't think he should play 90 minutes. I think he should play around maybe 60, maybe 70 minutes. Manage their minutes. As simple as that. There's nothing I'm going to say. Gabriel Martinelli, important player for Arsenal, key player for Arsenal, especially in games where you're going to have to run in behind. And I think at times Luton will try to create something dangerous for Arsenal through the likes of Rossi Buckley, Andy Townsend, and all these other beautiful players they have. And maybe that is when Arsenal use the likes of Gabriel Martinelli's pace to run in behind and cause them all sorts of damage. Mikel Arteta on having his whole squad available now that the games are coming in thick and fast. This is very important. Mikel said, yeah, we have discussed that and pushing each other and being available to contribute in a way to help us win the game and perform consistently at the level we need to. So we are going to need everybody to be available. And I think with Mikel, he's already said that. He's always said he's proud of having everyone back. He's proud of having a big side. He's proud of having so many players working together, but he never uses them, and that's the truth. And again, I don't think Arsenal should be very happy that we have everyone back. Why? Because these players should be getting enough minutes, in my opinion. You look at Josko Gvardiol. He played a lot of minutes at the beginning of the campaign, and when he was brought in against Arsenal to deputize an injured Ake and Stones and Kyle Walker, he actually did a very good job. So I think what Mikel needs to understand here is that you don't need to wait for them to pick up injuries, and you also don't need to wait for them to get you know you don't need to wait for games to come thick and fast for you to play and rotate your side. Let these players feel the grass. Let them play, the football, right? Because for me, Fabio Vieira, I'm not really sure if he has not been all right all along, but Fabio Vieira should have played more. Emu Smith Rowe should have played more. Edin Ketia should have played more, although I don't like Edin Ketia, but he should have played more. And so that when we get to this stage, Edin Ketia can be trusted. All these players can be trusted. But right now, can I trust Fabio Vieira? I can't. Can you trust Edin Ketia? You can't. So it means that we have to go with the same starting 11s for the next 10 games or 9 games. And that will actually cost us in terms of burnout, because these games are really, really very, very compacted. I've done a video on Arsenal's, fixture congestion. If you want to watch it, make sure you do. It's right live on the channel as well. Okay, Mikel Arteta on how he keeps all his players motivated regardless of playing time. And he says right here that that's certainly something really important. They really need to feel it, and the best way to feel is to play minutes. When they don't have the capacity to show what they can do, they can show it in training. We have to be close to them, and we have to convince them to keep doing it and earn the right to play. And I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with Mikel Arteta's approach when it comes to players and earning their minutes. I think it's genius. I don't think there is a player out there that should be playing football because they are cute, or because they are, they have a heavy price tag, or for any bullshit reasons. I think Mikel has done very well in that regard. One thing he's not done well for me is what Pep does. Last season, Pep Guardiola's backline shared minutes like never before. Each player averaged around 25 games, and I was absolutely stunned by that. And I think that's what Arsenal need to do. Can you get these players to at least have 15 games a campaign? Can you have 2 starting 11s, 1 for competitions and 1 for the Premier League? I think that will actually do a lot of good. But of course, Mikel says, keeping players motivated is something that he really, really, knows is important. On playing a different style to get a result against Manchester City, it says you have to sometimes because you want to adapt, and sometimes because you have to adapt. You have to have this resilience and leave your ego and ideology aside, and the way you have to and that way you win the league. You win the game, not the league. The team was mentally really strong, and it was really, really clever the way they actually did it. We've been criticized for playing our way. We've been criticized for playing that way against Manchester City. It is something that I think Arsenal are picking up from all these other sides. When we play against teams, and we are not the most expensive side in Europe, right? Are we? But when we play against teams and they pack the bus and they sit back and they say, oh, they made it difficult for Arsenal, and they say, well, Arsenal should find better ways to cut teams down. I think that is what City had to do, right? If we were at the Emirates Stadium and we didn't have a goal any way, shape or form, maybe. But we were at the Etihad. City should find a way of breaking this Arsenal team down. I think Arsenal created more dangerous chances than Manchester City. But of course, we had Gabriel Jesus, and Mikel knows that in this game, effectiveness was always going to be the answer. Why don't you start Leandro Trossard? The guy is good. The guy knows how to find the back of the net. The guy has served you on a couple of occasions. Everton, Porto, all these games. He is the guy turning up. Why don't you give him his chances? Why don't you give him his flowers? He deserves he deserves to start against teams like Manchester City. And we know he is a more lethal attacker than Gabriel Jesus. Honestly, all round, he's a lethal attacker. So I thought Mikel was right there in terms of setting up to respect Manchester City in the way we actually did. Okay, Mikel Arteta. On his memories, on getting the players to not to be satisfied with a point at City. It says you prepare the game for the game to win it, and when you feel that you have what it takes to go there and win, you want to do it, and if you don't do it, you're not satisfied. But at the same time, you have to understand how you are growing as a team and be smart enough in the moment to accept something else. On his memories of the win at Luton in December, it is especially how tough it was to win and how difficult they have been, for every team. Big compliments to Rob and the coaching staff. What they have done as a club is an amazing journey. I think they deserve more credit than any other team in this league. How they have done it and what they transmit as a team and what they generate, it's going to be really, really tough a game tomorrow. On his celebrations at the end, Mikel says it was really emotional, and the way we celebrated tells you the difficulty of the match and how we find and how much we had to fight for the point. So we know what we are facing tomorrow. On when he first recognized the defensive chemistry of Saliba and Gabriel, this was a little bit funny when I watched it. It says, when I decided with the club to send Willow to Marseille, and it says, I'm just joking. You just feel it when you see the partnership, and sometimes there is chemistry between the two players, that they complement each other very, very well. Mikel, on how we are approaching the Luton game differently to the City game. It says we are going to be needing even more. It's after 2.5 days. Luton are really, really in a good moment. When you see the games that they have played, and even when they haven't won, they have been really, really tough. We have had some extraordinary results against the other two teams that are at the moment leading the table. We are not top, so that means that we have missed certain points somewhere else, and that's what we have to put on the emphasis on tomorrow. Okay, on how he's feeling going into a crucial period of the season. I'm really excited. We have had the discussion when we played Liverpool a few months ago. It's a must-win or not lose, because the title is over. That was 2 months ago. It's always like that when you look back in October and you feel the necessity to win and be there, and it's not going to change from now until the end of the campaign. So Mikel Arteta there, and his remarks on some of the injuries and also on the Luton game. I think with Luton, he gives them more credit than they deserve. They're a good side. I don't think they should be stopping Arsenal. I think they will put in a good fight. I think they will. They have beaten Arsenal before. Not really beaten, but they have scored 3 against us before. And that will actually propel them to come for more. I wish they don't sit back, because it is tiring to cut a low block down. If Arsenal can get 3 goals in the first 70 minutes of the game, that will be over as quick as possible. But of course, talk to me in the comment box below what you think about Mikel Arteta's comments on Saliba, on Timber, and obviously on all these other players.